There you go, onto Mayonnaise. Fish and Waters get caught out by the Thresh. Now onto Keisha, being phased doing his best to soak up damage.
Leading up the pressure, Unruffy does propel away. The calling is just too much, and that would be a cleanup for Navi with a double kill.
There's Dagger to throw down. Shunpo getting the reset. You can see Nazir is gone, and the rest of the Lane of Manila will be doing the cleanup work. That's a double carry. Wins! Get back out here with an item. As he ladies and gentlemen, the number 1 seed from the Mindanao Conference still engaged here.
Kamusta mga kaibigan? Nagbabalik muli tayo sa Lenovo LOL Collegiate League para sa ating pinakauling laro para sa araw na to between TUP at itong ang ADDU. Siyempre, kami yung maging mga caster ngayong gabi. Ako si Arctic at kasama ko nga ngayon si Atlas.
Yun nga, sobrang ganda ng laro ng ADDU kanina. Di ko talaga in-expect yun. Like, 20,000 gold lead. Sobrang laki. And, tsaka yung sayaw nila sa Baron. So good.
Sayaw sa Baron. Well, yeah, ayun nga mga kaibigan. So, dito nga natin malalaman kung kung mawa-1-1 ba nila ang larong to o makakaidya ba tayo ulit ng 2-0. Yun yung actually very interesting kasi gaya nga ng iba nating laro kanina, puro 2-0 unlike yesterday may mga 1-1, 1-1, 2-0. So, kakaiba tong death group na tinatawag natin for Group A. So, tingnan natin kung mapagpapatuloy kaya ng ADDU. Finally, actually, after ng kanilang 0-2 kanina. So,
kailangan talaga kasi para makalabas sila ng group stages, kailangan nila mag 2-0 ang TUP. Kasi, rather, tataas yung chance nila makapunta sa semifinals.
Totoo. So, yan nga po kay mga kaibigan. Pupunta tayo sa pick and ban phase para dito sa TUP versus ADDU. Ito nga, binan-out na nilang Karma, Anivia, tsaka Kled. Ayun nga yung respeto actually sa top laner, tsaka sa mid laner, si Spirit, tsaka si Goso respectively. Talagang actually very efficient yung paggamit nila ng mga champions na to kanina.
Same bans pa rin para sa ADDU. Tinatanggal nila yung Ashe, tsaka Varus, utility, AD carries, pati na rin ng Graves. At interesting dito, ang top lane ng TUP ay they're subbing in Asidia.
Finally.
Because si Asidia, I think, isa sa mga pinakamalakas na top laner sa group na to. So, dahil wala siya sa games kanina, medyo shaky. Tapos ngayon, game 1 nila, shaky as well. Sobrang talo sila. But now, with Asidia, baka makabalik sila.
Actually, sa totoo lang, that's actually a good point na bring up mo yung kay Asidia. Kasi, actually, for me, I consider Asidia probably the best in the LCL right now. Gaya nga ng sabi ko, in terms of yung history niya sa team, yung past history niya, yun nga, kabilang siya sa roster ng La Liga Pilipinas nung promotionals. Although hindi siya, unfortunately, napalitan siya ni Burn eventually sa mismong roster pagdating na ng PGS. And then ito nga, na-pick up nga si Asidia for Emperor Esports as well para tularo ulit sa promotionals. So, tingnan natin kung si Asidia nga ba ang magiging key para ma-1-1 ito ng TUP. Kasi very crucial nga to in fairness sa TUP. Okay na yung start nila kanina, na 2-0 nila yung ADDU. So, sayang if mag-falter pa sila dito at bigyan pa nila nitong si Ateneo de Davao University yung lead palalo na mag-spearhead nitong Group A. Kasi kung ma-2-0 ng ADDU to, sobrang laki na ng chance nilang lumabas at mag-proceed sa top 4 out of the Interconference series.
I can't do this, man. I can't do this. So it's going to be TUP versus ADDU. A reset here because Asidia is the top laner for TUP. Might change the dynamic, might change how they play and ban, but still it seems like ADDU still focusing Navi here. So it's actually the same bans from earlier, but now also banning out the Twitch here while still stealing away Gosu's Lucian. So what happens here is that their picks here, very high damage bot lane with the Zyra and the Lucian, with a very high pressure magic damage jungler which lies in the Elise and the Jace.
Grabe. Ang bilis ng lock-in actually nitong Fizz and Draven. Talagang yung confidence nandun. So, actually the Draven lalo. So, maybe Navi will be showing up. Papakita niya yung kanyang inner cute in a way. Kasi we do know TIP Cute as one of the prime Draven users. Pero tingnan natin if this will finally work out for TUP. Again, player to look out for this game, Asidia in the top lane.
So we're gonna see how that plays out once the game actually starts. Put me off so hard. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how TUP adapts to this because now they have Asidia, they have one of their better players, more powerful players. So coming into this game, they should come with a clean slate in terms of their mindset. And that's one of the most important things coming to esport is the mindset. We've talked about this multiple times in LCL while we're casting Arctic, that coming to this games, you really want to have a good mindset coming into it. What do you think?
Actually, yeah, totoo nga yun. Kasi, kasi nga, ito nga yung sinasabi ko parati na you could have the best mechanics, pero at the end of the day, kung yung mechanics na yun, di mo masasama ng tamang mindset, either whether pagdating sa kaba, or baka yung mindset mo masyado kang solo queue nang dating, di mo na naisip yung teamwork, yung synergy nyo as a team. Ayun, dun ka talaga mag-falter. So there are a lot of considerations actually, which is why even ako as a manager noon for Emperor Esports, talagang ang daming players actually na magaling sa mechanics na pwedeng kunin, pero pagdating sa mindset, doon talaga nagkakatalo eh. So baka mayroong mga sa audience natin actually baka nagtataka sila, ba't si ganitong player wala sa PBS roster samantala napakalakas niya last split. So may mga ganung factors.
Or bakit itong player na to sobrang washed up na sobrang galing naman ng mechanics na. It's because they can't it's because teams can't deal with their mindset. It's really the hardest thing to change, because with mechanics you can just practice that every day, hone it and sharpen it. But with mindset, it really needs to have a change of heart, personality, and really the way you look at the game, look at the esports scene to change it. But if you just keep thinking about yourself, like, okay, I have to be #1 player forever.
Exactly.
It's not going to be a good environment with you on the team.
So, yun, tingnan natin if mag-prevail na to for TUP. Again, although, without a doubt naman, si ACG actually is actually a very solid player naman. And if anything, he's probably one of the friendliest, in fact. Kaya he meshes well with his teammates. So, yeah, for ADDU naman, again, we actually have to give commendations to them. Kasi yun nga, in a way, finally, nakikita natin kung bakit sila actually nag-top 4 last split. I was actually kind of worried. Baka mamaya dahil nga wala tong si Happy sa roster nila, medyo naka-apekto na siya sa overall dynamic na. So, I'm actually happy, no pun intended naman. Pero yun, I'm actually happy na they actually got back their bravado going up against TUP. Kasi ito actually yung worry ko eh. If they faltered against a team like, nakabing laban kanina?
How?
Yeah, if they falter against a team like How, which is actually a very strong team. It's probably, para sa akin, probably the strongest in this group right now. Pero parang what more pa kaya against these other teams. So tingnan na natin if they'll keep the consistency. Maybe we'll see a lot of consistent 2-0s throughout the day, or finally we'll be seeing our first 1-1 for Group A.
I think the lanes to look at here are, of course, the jungle is always a highlight. You're going to have to look at how the jungle paths, how do you set this team up for success. But the top lane is going to be interesting. It's Fizz versus Jace. It's going to be... I think the range of Jace is going to be super helpful in this matchup, but against a CDS Fizz, it might be... Actually, you could just like Playful Trickster out of the Empowered Chalk Blast and then deal so much damage against Gosu. The bot lane, though, is also super interesting, because look at all these AD carry bans. 4 bans against Navi. What is he going to go back to? Jin isn't really popular right now, so he just goes for a lot of damage. Draven.
Another thing that I like about this actually, yung Rek'Sai, yung gank potential in a way, which is why for me, if ever we're gonna look at priorities sa top lane in terms of ganks, feeling ko much stronger yung itong si Asidia and Chan, yung synergy between the Fizz and the Rek'Sai, as opposed to Gosu and Kitanda. Kasi just the Fizz itself, pwede niyang i-dodge yung Cocoon. And if you're gonna look at naman yung tools ni Jace, he actually needs to get ahead if he wants to knock the Fizz back para mapatay nila actually. Because if not, most of what he has within that early game is more on the engage. And yeah, we'll just have to see if that works out for the top lane mamaya.
Acedia, if his mechanics and reaction times are on point, can dodge the Empowered Shock Blast, the 2 Disguise, or the 2 Disguise. So that's 2 of very high damage spells coming from Jace, their main source of burst damage. So coming into that top lane, if Chan ganks and Kitanda is also there, the 2v2 might actually be in TUP's favor.
And dito naman tayo sa bot lane actually. Again, this is a very risky... Draven in himself is a very risky pick no matter what angle you look at him. That being said, I actually like the Lulu going with the Draven kasi it actually allows him much more fancy footwork. Kasi, ang problema kasi, when you have a Draven tapos Zyra pa yung katapat mo, because of needing to stack up on the Adoration and this Axis, yun, talagang very predictable na pwede siyang maroot ng Zyra easily. But because of the movement speed boost from the Lulu, it actually makes his job a little bit more easier in terms of dodging that. Pero tingnan nga natin as we go into Game 6 versus TUP and ADDU. So again, sa mga nanonood ngayon, kaway-kaway kayo. Hashtag TUP win ba kayo or hashtag ADDU win dito sa game. Nako, tingnan natin as ito nga, Game 6 tayo ngayon. Probably the most intense yet at nagbabalik si Esidia dito sa TUP.
He's going for the Ignite Teleport as well. We're going to see if that actually has a lot of impact with the kill potential there in the top lane.
So there we go.
Ooh, might be going for the cheese here. They're not spotted out by anything.
Will this be roaring though? Unfortunately, oh, maybe this might happen. But then again, Mise N, masaspot nga siya. Cocoon, not quite accessible just yet. So will content themselves with auto attacks instead. Grabe, talagang pinappressure nila. There goes the flash, unfortunately.
Oh.
Flash for flash.
For the supports here. Worth trade, I believe. But that's going to be Carly having to burn that resource. I think it's actually more favorable for TOP there that Carly had to burn his flash, because the flash root is a lot stronger than the flash polymorph or flash glitterlands.
Not to mention the fact that despite this flash being down for Lulu, she has the movement speed naman eh. Unlike Zyra, she doesn't really have any escape tools right now.
I mean, she's a plant. So
she's a plant, yeah. She just stays
can't really move much.
Yeah.
But we're going to see that Dragon Source is Zyra just planting eggs all around for her Drakes. We're going to see how all that plays out. Seems like the jungle pathing is actually on the opposite side. Actually, no, the same side. Here in the boss side, seems like they want to set the top lane up for success. But of course, with how you can path through jungle, it's actually very versatile to start here. Seems like, oh, very creative way of leashing here for TUP. Rotating down to that lane. And then it's like a drive-by leash. But of course, that does cost Navi 1 CS. I think it might be worth it. Because usually it's so, taking Krugs takes so long. But having a good leash around that camp is going to help a lot. And could actually be more efficient if Chan wants to go for that Raptors next.
So there we go. Again, that being said, itong si Chan will probably... It's actually good for him because it actually speeds it up a bit. The fact that Navi and Mise N actually spent a little bit more time to help him with that clear. And especially, we know how long that actually takes. So, I mean, even if it's just a few basic attacks, sobrang laking tulong na rin.
And that's actually manifesting here. Bot lane with Navi dealing so much damage to this Gonna be fancy footwork, but that's not gonna be enough. Even with Playful Trickster, actually Playful Trickster is not up for that. So the timing for the gank from Kitando is actually great, but even Asidia, even with the Ignite, even with the Urshan Strike to try and dodge all those spells, not enough. It should be Chan now going here for the bot lane. Oh man, but the kill actually goes to Chan, not to Navi, but they're gonna take that in response to that top lane death.
Good on TUP. They got that trade-off because they lost Fizz, and at the same time, because they knew that Carly didn't have his flash, they were able to transition that into a kill as well. Pero going in later on during this game, ramdam kong laki ng magiging emphasis ng ADDU sa pag just to try to not let Asidia snowball. Because again, especially on this fish, once you get him going, it's just so hard to stop him. So Asidia might actually really have to be careful, establish much more frequent vision as much as possible, because Kitanda definitely most likely going to make a prime his top lane is most likely going to be a prime ganking spot for him. But yeah, again, it'll be up to Chan as well to try to even that out.
Actually go for the dive here, if possible. Or to get scared away by Carly. It would be too dangerous to dive that. Yeah. Even though they have tons of damage with the early game Rek'Sai and the Navi and Navi's Draven, the exhaust is still up, even if heal is down for 80 curry.
A little bit too over-ambitious nga naman. So, yeah, I mean, here we go again. As expected, Kitanda, medyo heavy yung emphasis nga dito kay Asidia. But looks like he'll be going for the recall instead, especially since Asidia definitely learned this lesson. So, hindi na siya mag-overextend masyado. Just gonna allow the wave to push out a bit just so that he could go up to par with Gosu later on.
Seems like that will be the case. But looking at how everything is playing out here, top lane pretty even with his death onto Asidia. He still can have a lot of potential to take this lane back because of the combat stats. Gosu, he went for the Tear of the Goddess. which means that he doesn't have the same combat stats that Acedia will have. Plus, Acedia can stay far longer in lane because of the Corrupting Potion combined with the Dark Seal, which gives him a lot of healing from those refillable pots.
And this is even translating right down to CS and Acedia. If you're going to look at it, 32 to 27, despite actually dying earlier, having been first blooded, he's still up on CS kay Gosu. So that's actually very telling considering na both top laners to an extent even teleported back to lane. So ito nga, mga kaibigan.
Oh my god, it's gonna be a gank from Kitanda. Look at all that burst, but Navi's alone dealing damage to AD Curry. Now it's gonna be still 2v2 with AD Curry having to tap out of the boxing ring. Now it's gonna be Navi almost getting 2 kills. Actually getting Kitanda proccing his passive. That's a lot of gold. And now AD Curry is going to get even more behind in terms of CS.
Move over, Cute. Looks like we have a new Draven Lord here on the Rift as Navi. Now 101 on the stream.
I really like this matchup actually. Draven versus Lucian because of Draven's 500 range. Lucian's 500 range. Draven is in more of a position to really punish him whenever he tries to go for auto attacks against the minions. So with all that spinning axe damage, he's just gonna rack up the more AD Curry tries to retaliate. And having to build 2 Doran's Blades, that's such a huge cost.
Exactly. And plus the fact, I think that one of the reasons why Navi is so confident to actually make the plays that he's making against AD Curry, because then, take note guys, that's a Zyra, and that's a really painful Zyra to boot. That being said, the utility coming from the Lulu along with the movement speed pretty much seals the deal for this Draven right here, which is why he's so efficient in lane. And I really like the mindset and just the overall logic that TUP went with this bot lane.
That's definitely going to be the case. We're going to see how all of it plays out later in the game. Because TUP is quite ahead in terms of this gold here. 1.2k at 7 minutes. It's a little small, but you have to note that it's all concentrated on Navi, and now he has a BF sword and a long sword, compared to AD Curry's 2 Doran's Blades and a single long sword. It's going to be very dangerous for AD Curry to even attempt to trade against Navi, considering the shields and supports coming from ECN, even though he has the damage coming from Carlay. That is too oppressive. Yeah. I'm waiting for Navi to get an auto attack onto AD Curry to see how much damage he does.
Oh, there we go.
Actually, yeah, that's actually decent.
Yeah, that's like about a 9th. I mean, yeah, about a 9th of his health. So yeah, I mean, once they actually go for these 2v2s, which is why AD Curry actually has to respect the damage coming from Navi at this point. I mean, with that BF sword, I mean, sure, double Dorans, but that doesn't really compare to an early BF sword, especially just 7 minutes within the game. Grabe talaga.
If Navi gets more kills, procs his passive a lot more, it's gonna be just easy rolling for TUP, rolling in cash. But of course, that's gonna need help from Chan. And it's actually great for TUP because their top lane is even. Bomb is doing decently against Spiri. They're actually doing exactly even in terms of CS right now. So he has a lot more freedom to go down bot lane.
And plus the fact that if you're going to look at the build that the Ahri is going for, actually has the magic resist. So in terms of damage output, sure, there's the burst potential from Spear, but it's going to be a little bit more trickier because of the early magic resist coming from Bam right there. And yeah, we'll just have to see if that translates to anything later on during this game. And looking at this, looks like we're going to have a little bit of a scuffle as most of
Oh man, that is definitely going to be the case. Navi, he will get the kill here, even proccing his passive, almost taking down Carlay. But now this is going to be them having a lot of free time here in bot lane with that turret because Kitanda is all the way there top.
Oh,
and
man.
Of course, yeah, Gosu dying from the gank from Chan.
Three-fourths of the action happening in this bot lane right now. TUP really needs to start respecting this Draven. If not anything, they have to try to do something to counter this.
He's racking up in damage with 30 CS above AD Curry, plus the passive being proc with the 2 kills. That's just phenomenal. And that's just going to snowball further and further. And yeah, it's definitely going to be very difficult for ADDU.
This is one of those risk, high reward.
Now let's
so
get a top lane, guys.
There we go. So we actually have Acedia going in onto Gosu right here. Gets jumped in. And look at the damage that he's taking right there. And here we go. Gosu actually trying to balance things out. But then again, Acedia, look, with a lot of modsy there, but actually manages to take him down in the end. And Chan is actually there for the case. Whoa. So let's go ahead and check things out once again. Okay.
So that definitely, that was a funny juggle between Acedia and Gosu. Acedia goes in with an Urchin Strike, gets pushed away, and he just goes back in with a playful Trickster.
Oh man, a lot of action.
It seems like bot lane will be the focus here for Spiri and Kitanda. Or rather, it will be the Infernal Drake. Chan is around the wings, but it might be too dangerous for him to help. The Infernal Drake definitely have to be pushed away, because Chan is the threat, as well as Navi, especially Navi. Kitanda isn't too tanky, so a few spinning axis shots will definitely take him down, crush him like a spider.
So there we go. Again, it's all up to TUP at this point, because like as that Draymond gets more fed, the damage out was going to be absolutely insane. And I don't think ADDU can really deal with that. Looking at their roster, right, the lineup that they have right now, a lot of squishies, and if left unchecked, exactly. And not to mention the fact that it's actually a plus that they have this Lulu, because it's going to be
Kitanda attempting a gank here, gets spotted by the ward, and way too scared of Navi and the threat of Chan just being around to go for the counter gank.
This is why I love the Lulu with the Draven. I mean, like, even though they have the numbers game, 3v2, just because of the utility that the Lulu brings, which makes Navi a lot more hard to kill, makes it hard for Kitanda to actually make something happen.
Very difficult indeed. Now it's going to be Chan helping down this bot lane. They want to confirm the kill onto this first turret of the game. You'll see Navi spinning axis don't do much against the turret, but that's going to be enough. We're going to see if that's going to be 3v3 so far, but that is going to be Wild Growth burned by UCN onto himself. Chan has to rotate away because Piri is here for the backup, but they already got what they wanted.
Yes, there we go. Good on TUP, showing a lot of restraint right there in that fight. And as a result, early, oh my goodness, this is almost a 4,000 gold lead at more than 10 minutes into the game. It's actually almost unheard of-ish. So,
3K.
And plus the fact that, look at the CS difference between this Draven and Lucen. Almost 50 CS. That's going to be hard to deal with later on.
It's going to be TUP on the back foot here for the Infernal Drake, but it's going to be scary. Just the mere threat that Navi could be around the area means that they have to give up the Infernal Drake to TUP. Wow. The respect. It's like, but it's the right decision.
It's not even respect. It's downright fear.
It's
of
fear.
The Draven.
And that's the right decision. It sucks for ADDU and ADDU's mindset. Okay, let's get the Infernal Drake. We might get it. But then Navi might be around. And it sucks so hard to have to give it up. But if they tried to force it, it would have just been Navi getting more kills.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation for TUP at this point. That being said, Infernal Drake going to Navi, it's going to make it all the more painful.
Once he gets his crit items, once he gets his BF sword items, one spinning axis might be enough to just one-shot people.
I'm actually not even sure if this is on purpose. We've been preaching about how Acedia might actually be the threat on this. But that being said, the focus, I like how Chan, I was actually estimating that Chan might actually be focusing more on Acedia in the top lane because of his potential to just skyrocket, but instead focusing on Navi, it's actually quite rewarding for TUP right now, and it definitely shows how flexible they are, that they don't really need to rely on just one player in order to really get things going. And TUP actually showing that they might actually be a contender in this, and if they tie this 1-1, it's going to be very even for both TUP and ADDU.
Let's see how they transition this into the mid-game. Still laning phase here, 13 at around 14 minutes. But once they transition, Navi's going to be such a scary threat. Oh man.
No.
Well, Chan being a little bit of trouble. Here comes Bomb, actually rushing in there. Burns the Ignite, gets knocked up by Chan, giving him another kill on that Rek'Sai. That fish just barely hits, flops around. Here comes the Shark. But that's going to be just a satisfactory result here for TUP as they rotate this towards the Rift Herald, and oh my god,
this is going to be so big.
Yeah, because once they use this, if they have Navi with them, the fear of ADDU to actually go in might just allow them to get so many Rift Herald value, so much Rift Herald value rather.
Oh yes, and will be given to Acedia, and I actually like that counterbalance because technically, this actually allows Acedia to get this lane going a bit more because there's actually a lot of confidence as is with the Draven.
So that's going to be a little bit of trade-off between Acedia. Dodges the Shock Blast completely. And the thing here is, I think it's right to give the Corrupting Potion onto Acedia. Because he doesn't, because he has a Corrupting Potion, right? So the more he recalls, the more value he gets from that Dark Seal with a Corrupting Potion. It's really great for him. Plus, he doesn't have a lot of he does have a lot of mobility tools natural from being fit. Oh, Navi fearlessly going on to this here, but that's dodging the roots. 1v2 here against Carlay, but that's gonna be Strangleforce in the plants, taking him down finally. But that's gonna be the top lane here. 3v2. Kitanda in a little bit of a hard spot. Has to rappel away. But that's gonna be the Rift Herald summoned for TUP. That is going to fall down, definitely. Ooh.
I like how the Ahri is actually rotating to the top lane. They might actually be able to get more value out of this Rift Herald.
If Bomb is able to help them out in this push, because AD Curry and Carlay have yet to recall, and now Gosu has to back off if he wants to survive, but it seems like they will actually stop there. What a waste for TUP. We do get a lot of value in the top lane with the first turret, but that's not really ideal. Just a little bit of damage because that Rift Herald damage does scale with her health.
Indeed, and that being said, I actually like the point that you brought up with the Cydia because of the frequent recalls with the Corrupting Potion. That being said, imagine how faster it would be for him had he kept that Rift Herald with him for a few minutes. And yeah, I mean,
just maximize how much he can use that Corrupting Potion constantly.
Plus the fact that they have Infernal, and then Navi at the same time dealing loads and loads of damage. Imagine the siege potential they actually
could
could
be a
have.
Cydia dodging the scatter the wake. So much burst coming from both Bomb and this sneaky fish. It's actually going to give them some time here in the mid lane, but with AD Curry and Carlay around, that might be too dangerous. Here comes Missy Endo. Wow, fearlessly just poking them out. So a Cydia and Bomb can't get this turret. Sean is waiting around the wing, so if a fight does start, he's going to be there. Gosu tries going onto Sean, but look at that damage coming from that jungler. Just enough, and now that turret is going to fall down in just a few more hits, while Navi still free-farming their bot lane, just extending his golden CS lead against AD Curry.
Interesting, actually, that I actually like the balance of TUP's damage in a way, and it's actually very effective because of the fact that Navi is ahead. That being said, there's a perfect balance of the pure AD threat of Navi and then the double AP coming from both Cydia and Bomb respectively. So it's tricky for ADDU because as much as, let's say they want to go for a little bit more of defensive item, they have to choose whether or not they want to risk the depth of Navi.
Oh man, that's going to be a fight though. Sean has to escape away. Missy uses the wild growth on herself as she's just going to teleport in here. Navi is going to be here soon with the damage. Actually confirms the kill against Kitanda. Now Sperry as well will be taken down. Gosu will be the next victim of Navi, while Bomb trying to go for the Carlay support. Now Cydia, he's looking for this kill onto AD Curry. He's a very slippery fish. Actually gets it with the auto attack from Bomb.
That is going to be the ace for TUP.
Oh man, that's going to be 9k, 8k ahead, and that's going to be extended once they get this turret and once they get Infernal Drake, which is going to come up in 15 seconds.
This is one of those scenarios I've been talking about, and the what if they had that Rift Herald at this very moment. They could have actually gotten more value out of the push, but then again, looks like all the members of ADDU is up, so they'll be content themselves for the meantime with a potential Dragon King. And it's another Infernal!
Another Infernal, so that combined with Navi's damage combined with a Cydia and Bomb, that's way too much.
This is just like Drake's back and forth made for TUP right now.
I really love the itemization from Navi, focusing on not dying so he can keep stacking up. Having that overheal shield coming from that Bloodthirster means he can stay farther in the fights, able to survive initial burst. And I just guess crit, the lack of crit actually compensated by the extreme damage coming from his gold lead and the spinning axis.
I gotta hand it to TUP right here because when you're pulling off a Draven in this type of scenario, I mean, sure, Draven, you might see him in solo queue every now and then, but since you're entering a scenario such as the LCL where synergy is a component, it actually takes a lot of guts and at the same time somewhat a level of trust on your support because, like I mentioned, Draven, a very high-risk, high-reward champion, and he's just reaping all the high rewards amazingly.
Definitely.
And it's not, I mean, we've been pegging it a lot on how Navi has been playing, but again, I also gotta give commendations to BCN as well.
Carlay, a little bit of trouble there, instantly gets chopped up by that shark, and he transitions it to just stomping on that spider.
And at this point, I don't think ADDU really has the tools to respond to this at this point, because for every time that they might try to build defensively against, let's say, the Fizz and the Ahri, that'll leave room for Navi and vice versa. Exactly.
Wow.
And if they try to build defensively against Navi, against the AD, that's where Acedia and Bam
As soon
shine.
as Baron spawns, he falls victim to TUP. And because of the goal that they have, this is definitely a possibility. Look at that sustain coming
This is
from
so
Navi.
fast for 20 minutes.
Because that's because of how ahead Navi is. There's no chance for a steal because Acedia is waiting around the wings to try and get a pick off and anyone that tries to respond. 20-minute ban as soon as he spawns. Wow.
This is so overwhelming. The only way I feel that ADDU can actually get back into this game, if not to try to get pickoffs, if ever TUP does, but that's highly improbable, is to try to wait out this game. But with that Baron, that seems almost impossible at this very moment.
11k gold lead at 20 minutes. That is how decisive TUP is.
This is a completely different TUP, and Acedia definitely made all the difference. Not to mention the stellar performance coming from Navi
And
on this
Navi, you ban him out so much. You push him into a corner of the wall, and he pulls out the secret trap card, Raven, the Executioner, and making great use of it. And he has red buff right now too, so any hit from him is going to be a death sentence.
Oh man, trap card indeed. And
Look at how much damage he deals.
This is absolutely, this is almost absurd damage.
Level 7 mastery as well.
Oh man, oh that's a lot of damage onto Kitanda. That is a repel to save his life, but still. Man.
Oh man, they still get the confirmed kill onto him. Now it's going to be Navi taken out, but the rest of the damage is still there with Bomb and Acedia. It's going to be 2 for 1. Will they continue to siege? They don't have their AD carry anymore.
Then again, of course, they do have that Baron buff. Not to mention, Acedia actually split pushing in the top lane. That's a lot of pressure that ADDU has to handle right now.
With the Triforce that he has, that's going to be an easy push with the Machine procs. And with the Sunfire Cape, that's also a lot of wave clear.
Oh man, and look at them. They can't even like stop this push right here. And we're also going to try to go up against Acedia, but I don't think he really has that mod C or
Look at the health right now in the interface.
Oh man. This is a game that's just going way too south. So darn fast for ADDU, and I don't know, man. Things are definitely looking very bleak in their case. Sure, they could get pickoffs, but TUP has established such a strong lead that it almost seems impossible. And
14,000.
14,000 at 22 minutes. It's beyond. It's just way beyond ADDU for them to handle right now. And I don't think TUP is in the mindset right now to even go into slip-ups for ADDU to capitalize on.
Yeah, TUP, right now with the mindset that they have, the mindset that they showed earlier today, it doesn't seem like they're in a position to throw at all, which is going to make ADDU's job a lot harder to get back. And I think it's like 99% that TUP is going to take this win if they continue with the pace that they've had for the rest of the game. It's 22 minutes, 23 minutes, such a fast-paced snowball coming from Navi, Acedia, and Bob.
Ooh, that didn't even hurt one bit. Will Kitanda be able to get the stun though?
Oh, going for a
that.
kill. Styling on them. 3v4 now. It's going to be Acedia still going for those kills, but look at their base. TUP uses this opportunity to push the bot lane. Wow.
This ultimate distraction right there coming from TUP.
And the sustain comes from Navi.
This is a game potentially just waiting to be finished at this point. I don't see any way ADDU could get back at this.
And this is going to be the third inhibitor for TUP if they get this. With all the super minions ADDU is busy with, TUP can just hammer in the final nail to ADDU's coffin once they get this inhibitor. It's just going to be a matter of time. Imagine all of those super minions closing in onto those Nexus turrets. Man, and that's definitely going to be that's the search and win code. The search and win, just fill it up. There's lots of trivia that could be possible. So just if you've been paying attention to the game, like how Kitanda just absolutely got absolutely destroyed there. Just answer the question. If you're the first to answer it correctly, you will be getting that mystery gift in 3 days.
Indeed. And yeah, let's see. Again, I also got to commend TUP. If you're going to look at it, that's the most value I've seen a team get out of a Baron buff at such an early stage of the game. Yeah. And that was like within the span of the 3 minutes. They took down so many towers, so many inhibitors. This is basically TUP, all the enablement in the world. And finally, I was kind of worried for TUP at one point, but looks like they got their Moxie back. And this is easily going to end in a 1-1 should TUP just decide to go all out and finish it.
That's going to be the third 7 in the
man.
slot machine for TUP. So the next fight that they have, that is going to be super explosive, fiery, infernal. It's going to be hell for ADDU if they even try to fight TUP.
Coincidence, man? I think not. 3 Infernal Drakes against a team that's just dealing so much damage. is almost unheard of at this point. And clearly the stars have aligned for TUP at this point. And triple Inferno, that's going to hurt like it's no tomorrow.
This is going to style on them once again.
Let's see the damage output. This is what it's
really bomb. Oh, man. They're just spirit rushing all over the place, setting up the kill for Acedia. Now it's going to be Gosu trying to go onto Acedia, but the rest of TUP, they know what the objective is. They go for the turret, but now they go for the opportunity to get 2 kills more for Navi. And now it's just going to be the game for TUP. Redemption for a little bit of healing, but that's not required. They're going for the dive. The fountain dive does succeed against Carl A40. Ace. Wow. 21-7 with a huge gold lead.
Dang, man. I don't know how to even describe that game at that point. That was just absolutely stellar from TUP, and I'm glad that they actually ended that game with a bang. But yeah, of course, before anything else, before we head into the stats, we'd like to congratulate our 5th Link winner of the Search and Wing. The question was, how many assists did ADDU Carly have at 40 minutes into the game? The answer, of course, is 22, and congratulations to Arvin Loboy.
That's a huge amount of assists.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course, congratulations. You will be getting that mystery gift in a few working days, so just be patient. But coming back into the game, let's look at the stats. Look at the KDAs here. The kills aren't that much for such a stomp. Like, there's only 21 kills, but the damage, I bet, because the game was so short, I don't think it's going to be too high, but I bet most of it is going to be from Navi's side. Look at the itemization. Going from BT to IE gives him so much straight-up damage because of the support system that he has. He can just freely build that, building it as a rapid-fire cannon as well.
Oh, man, the damage, though, 17,800. Oh, man, again, it definitely made me proud on that Raven today, and I'm definitely have high expectations.
Yeah, pushing Navi back to the wall really just brought out the beast, the tiger in him.
Indeed. And yeah, I mean, again, of course, congratulations to TUP. That pretty much brings them one step closer. Yeah. And a lot of
they
great
have potential because they can bounce back the momentum if they get a loss.
Exactly, and there you go. Of course, that has been
final game for today.
Indeed. Of course, before we end the broadcast, I'd like to greet Happy Mother's Day to everybody watching. Be sure to greet your mamas. Happy Mother's Day as well to my mom. Sorry I can't be with you today. See you tomorrow, though. And shout out to Mark Carroll and Joey Menudo. But let's go ahead and check out the standings here.
Wow.
Wow, 3-0.
3-1.
Doesn't get any better than that. Oh, yeah,
3-1. But still, that's a huge improvement. And coming into here, they have probably a lot of points racking into this, so they have a high chance of getting semis. Of course, the rest of the matches will decide that.
There we go. I mean, I'm really looking forward to what happens. Again, this is the group of death. They definitely did not disappoint today. I'd give them that.
Lots of intense games.
Yeah. I mean, oh, well, but of course, we're going to conclude for today. We've been your casters. This has been, of course, Arctic, and with me is Atlas. You have watched the Lenovo LOL Collegiate League, and we will see you guys again next weekend.
Oh man, that's going to be a fight though. Sean has to escape away. Misha uses the wardrobe on herself as she's going to teleport in here. Navi is going to be here soon with the damage. Actually confirms the kill against Nanda. Now Sperry as well will be taking down Gosu. Will be the next victim of Navi, while Bomb trying to go for the Carly support. Now Acedia is looking for this kill onto Ethan. He's a very slippery fish. Actually gets it with the auto attack from Bomb. Now they're just spirit rushing all over the place, setting up the kill for Acedia. Now it's going to be Gosu trying to go onto Acedia, but the rest of TUP, they know what the objective is. They go for the turret, but now they go for the opportunity to get 2 kills more for Navi. And now it's just going to be the game for TUP. Redemption for a little bit of healing, but that's not required. They're going for the dive. The fountain dive does succeed against Carl A40. Wow, 21-7 with huge gold.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.